There have been many videos on YouTube regarding what is known as Kundalini awakening from many people online who regard themselves as esoteric. And now here is part 2, and you say in parentheses, Gnostics, Theosophists, etc. Can you clear up some common misunderstandings of Kundalini Yoga, Siddhis, Nadis, etc., and provide a clear Vedic understanding of the Kundalini awakening process? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I said I'm going to answer this briefly because it won't require more than actually a very brief answer. First, let me say this, that indeed, Kundalini Yoga, raising the Kundalini, is indeed something that is quite legitimate. It's actually found in the Upanishads. It's found in the Upanishads. There are several other scriptures that speak about this. And as far as Kundalini, as far as the Nadis, as far as all of the various, let's say, energy centers, streams, and rivers of energy that exist within the subtle body, and the idea of harnessing these subtle energies in such a way that you have optimum health, that you have clearer thinking, that you wake up intuitive insight, etc., etc. Oh, this is something that is quite legitimate and quite real. Pause, pause, pause. When done authentically and in a real way. Now, this is the difficulty. This is the difficulty, is that in the actually 19th, 20th, 21st century, what we have seen has been a phenomenon that has been the New Ageification. First of all, the outright stealing of many of the elements of Sanatana Dharma, but then the New Ageification also of many of these elements of Sanatana Dharma, which understood in their proper context are quite real and legitimate. But then when appropriated by dishonest individuals in order to make money, to gain fame, etc., individuals who kind of have a little bit of knowledge of these various things, and not just Kundalini. This includes yoga, this includes meditation, this includes Vedanta, this includes puja, this includes so many different both philosophical and practice elements of Sanatana Dharma. When you have individuals who have a small fund of knowledge, but then also who on top of that may be ill-motivated, what you have is indeed a lot of bad information that's out there. So indeed, you mentioned that there are thousands probably videos on YouTube that talk about chakras, awakening the chakras, and Kundalini, etc., etc. And then you have Theosophists and the Gnostics. If you're lucky, you have Theosophists and Gnostics, and those are two fraudulent paths, or at least Gnosticism as it's practiced today, let me say, not traditional Gnosticism. I'm talking about individuals who are latter-day Gnostics. Theosophy, of course, is something that is 1,000% made up. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, I've read probably everything that she's written, and I can guarantee probably most individuals who call themselves Theosophists who do YouTube videos can't say the same. I've read Isis Unveiled. I've read many of her works, probably all of them, actually. Theosophy is something completely made up. And then, of course, when you get the overtly new age individuals who will appear on a YouTube video doing tarot, and then they want to start speaking about Kundalini. No. Obviously, this is not the way to get information about Kundalini. The way that you gain information about Kundalini and how it actually works and what its actual purpose is through the scriptures. And again, it is indeed spoken of in the Upanishads, among other places. I've read it myself. I've read about Kundalini very, very in depth. But you also, more than anything, learn from a guru. This is crucial. And no, not just some individual, some Joe or some Jane with a big smile and a new agey glint in their eye on YouTube. No, you learn from a real guru. You learn from an individual who is representing Vedic tradition and yoga, the yoga tradition, in as authentic a form as possible, not mixing it with anything else. Theosophy, Gnosticism, this thing, that thing, etc., etc. Now, all that being said, Kundalini, in and of itself, it has always been understood by legitimate yogis to not be a purely spiritual phenomenon. This is understood. Let me back up. And I said that this was going to be brief. Unfortunately, it's not, I guess. I'm going to have to go into this because, again, Kundalini is one of these buzzwords like chakras. And there's so much misunderstanding that I need to explain this once and for all. Kundalini is something that deals with what is called the Sukshma Sharira, that is the subtle body. It's understood throughout yoga, the legitimate yoga tradition, throughout Sanatana Dharma. Interestingly, even in places like, again, legitimate, authentic Taoism, not the Tao of Pooh. Yes, there's actually such a book, as in Winnie the Pooh. No, real Taoism, the way it's been done by Taoist mystics for thousands of years. It's always been understood that there are three bodies. There is, to use the Sanskrit, Sthula Sharira, the physical body. There is Sukshma Sharira, the subtle, energetic astral body. And then finally, there is the Svarupa. That means literally one's own form, one's own self, that is the spiritual form. Now, with this understanding, it is the second of these, Sukshma Sharira, the energetic body, the astral body. It is upon that plane that now all these psychic phenomena occur, including Kundalini, including chakra. So let me state this once and for all so people get this. Again, this is not something that is controversial. This is incontrovertible. This is the traditional understanding of Sanatana Dharma, of the actual yoga tradition, and has been for thousands of years, and it's the understanding of the Vedic scriptures. Chakras have nothing to do with the Atman, with one's actual consciousness. Kundalini has nothing to do with the actual Atman, that is, with one's actual consciousness. These both apply only to the Sukshma Sharira, that intermediary body. So again, there's physical, there's energetic, and then there is spiritual. So this is the first thing to understand. If an individual has this idea that, oh yes, I'm going to open up this chakra or that chakra, and I'm going to have enlightenment as a result, no. Opening up these Sahasrara chakra, the top fold chakra, can help in enlightenment. But even that doesn't produce enlightenment. This is the traditional understanding. It helps. Opening all of these 7 chakras helps with many things, but they are limited, all the chakras and Kundalini, to the Sukshma Sharira, to the subtle body, not the spiritual form. So with this understanding, yogis traditionally, and not all, some choose to not even bother with Kundalini, because when you pursue self-realization and God realization, trust me, the Kundalini just automatically ascends. Automatically, the chakras are awakened. You don't even have to focus on them in any extraneous sort of way. But rather, if some yogis do indeed choose to purposefully raise the Kundalini, oh, they can do this. And again, it's a perfectly legitimate thing to do. So I hope that answers the question. As far as the process, well, a person has to be ready for that process. Again, as an individual who's been practicing this path and practicing it, not just watching YouTube videos about it, as a person who's been practicing it for 50 years, let me tell you, I get questions like this all the time. Acharyaji, can you teach me to astral travel? Can you teach me to raise my Kundalini? Can you teach me to do this? Can you teach me to do that? And the answer is always yes. But then I ask them a question. Why do you want to do this? A. B. Are you right now equipped to even begin doing this? Are you equipped? Do you have strong enough a constitution to do a sadhana that is a very difficult and very serious sadhana? Again, it's not New Age, it's real. Are you ready for this? And what do you expect the result to be? So again, if I'm speaking to someone and they say, oh, Acharyaji, can you please help me to do this thing, this very mystical thing? My answer is, you're asking me if I can? Yes, the answer is yes. But then again, why? why do you wish to do this, and are you actually equipped to do it? Or did you just watch a few YouTube videos and get inspired? Will you actually do the sadhana? Do you have the time? Do you have the discipline, the mental discipline? If so, well, then maybe we'll talk. Otherwise, if you're going to do something good with your time, do something good with your time. If raising your Kundalini is indeed the very best thing that you wish to focus on right now, and you have a real reason for why, not just because, oh, it's an alternative to LSD or taking drugs, you want to have some kind of fun experience. No, if you have a legitimate reason for doing astral travel, again, not just, oh, I'd like to experience that. No, if you have a legitimate reason, then that's different. So I hope that answers the question.